96.3 FM, Lawson TV, Kumase, I want you run about anyway, Apino Plaza, Dr. Donko Fojo Avenue, Ebusa for Brasso, says Samudu ready from Memu, and Yama who do be so no, Yeri Naba to Manim Don Bakua, Eda Yanu, Subampe, Tebi, Ewo, Esuafua, Nananum Ewa Percy, assign Egu, www.lawsonmultimedia.com. The Dima Quetini Business, or my software, or afisem ama yon Samson, interior minister, the Atubia, sir, ye know the afono, a prison afono. Ye momun namsa, any dio, said ye, Wamba Bayajuma Padi Adwoa Mino.
Ghana man penny John Dramani Mahama Edia Tuja set big push. Ya Albo and Toa Apeman penny dibre or come wasemono. Ye the 100 billion Ghana cedis and ebe remove.
Migration service for Bayer 730. Ghana Police Service 320. Womuna ya yo madi bonebe no maye.
Na uko Zabila Mrasebe Jani oho enso de nanoatum se apose for ye oho no womo yo made. Na so asoja fo na oho no de womadwuma nso ani nti yempama asoja fo nyina na womo firi ho no.
Ado dankwa ekufo ado kane Ghana mampeni adwuma woto nie se madam fopa bekwa jame na namfo pa wo kwa ja no eye Buhari peni wase ne yonkono no fritete ene nti twedi amponyankro mpomfa ne kra ensie yi
amra sebe dwani di ma de se Wakepco South ayo owura George Kwaku Reket wono ana de ato edwase no krani se wo hwe mami ha se ne nipa pina nya adwuma nya na wa hwe bibi besi
Yabako Nkrono baako adehye womu no mosre se omu hia suku dan papa animanim ya na ebekire mu yie pa
Ora Eric Afole Edia tu dwase omanyi yesika 7 ne dwade hu nsem ye nyini pa
wei ene nsem bi aka ho bi ane aboabo no se anwumre no se aka nkase ide eba besom obomaden se ubetimi aka ho na anwumre yede kase no abrawo nsem na eba no de emu ohwamye papa na nipa basa ne atenase a ye ba besom ka hunu se nyuma kwa hodo bi nso ebo ye chi baba mesra wa Lawson FM has a series because wa mesra wonya sha se wutie bi abomode na ne da ya sha se obetie bi ya friend ajabofo efe ye papa na ba wom lewe ne team ne produce sa movie na wa wie no na chese Oheneyere nso atenase adwedwe ho abuabuo mu obi a wate ase yi ankasa internet da abomode nso betimi atenase na wa hwe bi ankasa na global ICM fo nso gusu efa adesuafo na eba ne health and safety management, computer science and cyber security and they are more eguso efa adesuafo wo mu general administration, human resource management, information technology ni na ekoso logistics and supply chain management and so ekoso me pa global ICM for no kre no mabni ye ankasa wo ma chekere for no so abotre se mba che wonya 18 years and above aba ye betimi afawo ye be fa was a mature student ankasa mesre wa frɛ wa 0244764797 now ni entwetwe enkomo
Sanso ena Abotre Clinic afa ye ho kabina Abotre Clinic de eye wonsa no na mu na omiamia kese emoja ebetwi ede afa entini no mo ebase ya emoja tenefo mu no wachiri bramo no de na eye wo ya no esanse kasa ni bia we no na afifi afefe aye kama ene ntina ya ne ko hwan ena wonya moja broso hwan na nya siche ya de emoja entini emfa ni padua no etitiru entini mu yie amfa yie enti ena ama adwene no enya moja nto ma ni padua na aka yeso wonya stroke brane emiamia wonsam no na mu ema stroke beko achiribramo ya beko bema obema ebe yirima na enkonkoda fam dia na eye aku pressure kwan ayemiamia yensam ne nema mamoja atini yo ade afantini mo kuma se fanchine bra poku transport estate and cried de la pass kwashima kwantempo no so tebora number 6 enotema afienya mata ko yisigi dynamo friend 024 7904473 afi integrity care services so wo hwe obi a hwan ena wo ya de ya wo se obafie ye bafie behwe wo dakitafo ye wo brede man wutire ya wo ya eye wadwene mu ekuro bi na atu wo nkuda ye memia na ye ne kama emfa man odidie ene wadrunom ho enkyerkyere anase wakora wabrewa ya defo bi oya mana aye wade so twintwa wonam awadwuma ye mu a fa ne bre ye anase frɛ ye ne ne metene fie na nya kwan kwa adwuma na watimi aye adwuma nya sika ya wo adwe so se wakura 01919191
Abusia ebika yenum ho ya ni nyina bresem no ye de won sam so ebeto dwan ye ne anwumere ye ne mode ahia ayeme Oduefour na Asabre penaman na penkra hene chiame menim nua ba
Oheneyere Adwoa Aprebi ne enafe
Nana Awuku Danchambua afejibre ne ye chensem nase
Yesha and Samno Asia. Yako Bambawia Islamic Institute at Ewa Tamale, one number Ayawam 29th annual Quranic ceremony. The Jumedia Watusa at the Fred Ghana Mampeni John Dramani Mahama, and Manadin Yam Ebeta Jumedia Nechi, Ampa Okoye, na Equamutine Edimano, ya Walker Sandon, and Rodi Tujan was a man from where she Hamo Kaise, a brana be born to and me catch it, say, Bibi at the big push. I Edibeba Abesob Mebununi Ghana, addition in Asene. Wa mo se ane ye kaipa wa se ha ne bre na drus wonom ene say Ghana sika billion no mako wo ha ene ye betwa e de agu ho mo e de ayesa big push no na esan se ye mpe no asisi enti no ye besina brekutire ama obi anya no so ne de na mentifi mantam mako enum ye wo mentifi fami hai he obi ya benya ne so ne de wo se sa big pushy wonom beto apetite side ye kane na ye di nkwadabere mu agro se sra he ye se eja ne ato apete no sa ene wonom be ye no ebi be wura dansie mu ebi be wura akwan yemo enwuma hodo de beye na betimi aboa ama empuntu afa ne ntampefra na yekekan na yekekan so ye nyi zongo nso emfiri mo o se wenti ama coordinator edimo zongo development fund no wonom ne no tani pai eto kese ehwe kwan ye wonom de befa so no wonom apagya zongo wonom mo babia wonom beda na wonom afie ho nsem ahonidie ho nsem suku ho nsem adansie ho nsem wa otum se ndema bia tie kam bebre ne nyina wonom bepe ho asikumadwa bi ede enti zongo no tamale yendi boko wa ene mia huduo bi ya empo bi ho no kra na aye kuropon na so behwe na ye wonzongo wo mo nom ede wani ebe kire ho no mo a sa big push ne de ye nche enyimenti fifam emfiri mo na yentie se de Ghana Mampeni John Dramani Mahama wakasa e no poto no so efai.
I acknowledge the profound role that Islamic institutions such as the Bambawia Institute are playing in shaping the moral consciousness of our people, in promoting peace and building civic responsibility in Ghana. As president, I see our religious institutions not as observers, but as partners in development. And that is why we continue to strengthen our engagement with Muslim leaders on education, youth development, health, and matters of governance. The coordinator of the Zongo Development Fund is working closely with relevant ministries and communities to address long-standing infrastructure deficits in Muslim communities, including housing, sanitation, schools, and other infrastructure inequalities. I've directed that we target communities in the Zongos in Tamale, Yendi, Boko, and Wa to receive priority attention under our Urban Renewal Compact in our national budget. In our 2024 manifesto, we made bold promises to the people of Northern Ghana, and I stand before you to reaffirm our commitment to fulfilling them. Very soon, we will cut the sword for the start of the 100 billion Ghana cedis Big Push infrastructure program, and I wish to assure you that the North has not been left out. We will soon see the start of construction work on all major road networks in the country, including the 5 northern regions. Only yesterday, the Minister of Finance signed the commencement certificate for the start of the road projects under the Big Push. The Big Push will also cover projects in agriculture and agribusiness, projects
na chese sa big push ni de say enwuma na hodo ni nyina obi abenya ne so ne de beboa ama wo ya babia wani gie wono no akoho na wo so akwakonya bi ayo Ghana Mampeni John Dramani Mahama
wo so fo hwe afisem so ayo onimnyamfo Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak opanyini na de atodwa se wo mu asabi o mu de mo ekwohye enema bia ensem fatamu e wo abrekuma no fa abato empeso so aba ekoso no nukrani nya de o mu de mo becho mo kro betwe maso ye pa wo de sansem we nyina tudwa e wo mra ene dai wo mo ayesi wo se wo mbeka enema mo ba abosumi ensie no maye ne hweta kama ene de akoso nyina akere man Ghana no ene dai no mo ehase wo kasa ana wo chekere ensemu.
But these are guys who commit this sin and they vanish from the system. But we have to take time to track them. But assurance is that we are not going to allow this to go unpunished. Unless they flee the country. So long as they are around, they should be rest assured. The law will have to take its course. Because we cannot allow this to happen. And you can be assured that, and I trust in the professionalism of the IGP and his team, that they are going to do a good job.
onunyafo Muntaka Mubarak kwade to dwa na ne kasem no sade to dwa se by election beba so akwati abato ampeso aso no behwe se bibie si ye ewo Ablekumanov no ebi enkoso sa wo ho
Akwati by election. Yes, I know the challenge. People will say coming events cast its shadow. If we can go to only 19 polling stations, this will happen. What will happen when we go to some of the rural places? Well, the interesting thing is that I'm sure this is also a wake-up call for our security agencies to know that if maybe probably what happened could, maybe you could say that it was not an organized thing, it was a spontaneous thing. Whether it was organized, whether it was spontaneous, this gives our security agencies the opportunity to even plan better towards Akotia. All I can assure the people of Akotia is that we will use Ablekumanov as a case study to review our operation, how we operate in Akotia, to make sure that the citizens are free to cast their vote and
we ensema onuyanfo Muntaka ede to dwa na ne kasem no sade to dwa se no krani wamo eba ye to 2024 aba no ewie ye no ana bambo ensem wedi so mo de omani ehwem hohoho pa no mo ehwem no hunu se ye wabambo fo pi wo ho mo eba bambo adwuma no mu no wamo efa kwan bi so ebi mu so ye niam bi asabi na ensem fata entine dis yetimi tasetasen katebon ne efrimu ye hwe mu no Ghana Police Service ye nya 324 nipa wo police service adwuma ko no asabio no mo kra no mo qualify kra so ba be ye adwuma no na se de mo aba be wura na ne kasem no san edit to dwa se Ghana Immigration Service so 730 ana mo so o be wura ma wo mo qualify ya no so ye mo afri mu na wo de ne kra to nten ya na Court Control Commission so no eno so nipa be aduonum 50 ana mo so ye mo afri ho ye ntie ne nsem no.
One of the things that happened was that the police, for example, were given clearance for 4,000. By the time we did all the clearing, who is qualified in there, who is not qualified in there, we were able to get out about 1,320 who were not supposed to be there, and they were there, so they were out. And then the immigration to about 730 was left out. So in all, out of the Fire 2 had about 500 and something that were taking narcotics, about 50 something. I didn't have all the big but in all what we did a cleanup. We tried to get their qualification benchmark and see those who were there. You see someone like some people were there, they were in their 40s and they were put in there. They were not qualified to be there. They couldn't even do some of the drills. So we had to take them out. Some people were even diabetic and they were picked. And we had to tell them, look, with your situation, you can't be in the security services. Others didn't have the certificate that they claimed they had. We had to withdraw them. I mean, I remember one, an MP came to me and said, oh, my brother was there. They are almost on a few weeks to finish. Why? He said, I said, well, I don't have all the data in my head. But what is the name? He gave me the name. He was there. Then I called. Can you check the reason for, because I made sure that every person that was removed, the reason for removal is attached so that you can justify it. So they called, say, this guy, he didn't even record one subject. So I asked him, can you ask your brother whether this is true? They are saying that not even one subject was recorded. And said, but it's true, but I said, it's not, there's no any but. Once you didn't record any, and the qualification then was to do this, you have to be out. So we took all those things out, and that's how we passed the other side. Even though now I've charged our security services to say that, look, the police, the immigration, the narcotics, the prisons, the fire, and the right, it's not only about those who have maths and English. Because I know people who have...
Oh. Enti onuyanfo Muntaka no asawasem na sebetwani ana wo checheresem no oda na disen no krani sa wo security agencies ni nyina no mbo wurawura mu no ene fire service ho so mbo wurai omu yibia di saa na no enkrata na disi omutimi enya na edisi e form no obu ha na onyanya sa nkrata no na no no kire se ono ankasa na danfo ba ko sei obeka chense ni nua yayi na firimu ana wo so omunhwe wo bia nso no de enti ejina so yi wo firimu no ye de ka ho ana wo se monhwe de enti na yayi ni firi ho ye ko hwe a say yes certificate ode eba ye no wantwa ba kokora ane ye de fa no ene na ejina so omohwe ya wo mudi A1 nkonsa efrimu
ye da so agina yewra Muhammad Mubarak Muntaka ne nsemu ono ene ye interior minister afisem amanwe ho nsem so na wode atodwa say ye nuduafo na ye wo no ye prisoners no ye nya wo mo say wo mo nidi no nom saa wo na yemfo munyi gotemu ne eskafo fie ana omo no dododo dabi no maye ne sem efiri na akwayi omo aba behwe no produce enti sanitary pass se ema omubu omo sa do mo de ye bra ne sa de mo nkwada ne nyina no de Ghana ye nya no wo ha mu nchemu aduo no de e wo so mo de produce ye kwonu nkonwam so a 30% e wo so mo produce ye kwonu sukuu ntade a ye hye no basic any secondary school nyina na e wo say prisoners no omo produce mo 30% na omo de ma Ghana for.
Similarly, the ministry is in talks with Ministry of Education to sign an MOU, that's Memorandum of Understanding, to enable the prison services to produce 20% of sanitary pad for the free sanitary initiative, to produce 30% of all school furnitures and 30% of all school uniforms that government is giving out. And this we are doing to make sure that our reformative programs within our prisons is changed completely from what we are currently simply doing. I call it warehousing the prisoners, keeping them idle, not too much to do.
We Honorable Muhammad Mubarak Muntaka, Kumasi Aswazi MP, and Wasai, or Menso for afisem amanyo semso.
Kane mampani na ado dankwa ekufuado ene adwuma woto ne se na damfo pabe kwagya no na otena ni bia na ente na yete ye ne se ene abafo tentamfidie ya yefa so edi nkomo yi ne nkrabata ba ko Facebook yi eho ena no wo ya wo twero ne nsemo na nya saade a enka ne bemba nsu nka ne suo grogrogrogro ade ya wono ankasa ne yonko brebo ya woni ne si so wono mbrante bremu penso ya wono mabe ya mampani mfo panye ya se sami ka se de nka no wojina homia nie enura wono man tikita mijame na ho kakra bi na dodo no ene de no ekọ eye London abrochi memo ene se enura ojemu eye owura Muhammad Buhari ono nasem ene ye kai kane Nigeria mampani eno na enura asem yisi ye Ghana mampani na ade ache ye kokodi tore owohoro na nimu kotena na ba fontentam fidie ni nkrabata Facebook iso ene wo chose papa nyame wonfa okra ensie ye me kai adwuma soya me no wayo firi umranti bremu na yabo adwuma Nigeria benya wono fa hodie ntokwakyerefo ne ntokwachane ne nyina na wudimo na ebra Ghana ne abibremu atoye hanom ye behia mu sei na se yese ya dwendwene ekwan ye befa so ss adwene ne yaka ye ho bomo ka ese ye betimi asore de atia abonnefo ne akrabrechirefo a etosha aman so ema aman ebo nyenye no ye kase ye fapam ye dwendwene ne asore atia se de na ho keka esi wosoro no na chese bibia de se abibremu nkabomu na Edda Buhari na kuma so pa na de esaka ho biom eye after eye African Continental Free Trade Area no sa dwumadie we osi Buhari di mu tenteman ya ene aba setena nipa nyina edi ho faso bie na ado dankwa akufo ado se sa na ho faman ene se no wosi epre abibre enkabomu no wonim se eye sapa wotwa to ho afoforo nso ebesua
yentu ansam no so emfa emawo na owura Robert Osei wono eye patron edema MPP amanyoku no ewa amanse West abaton peso so na opanyini na de atodwa se Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahame ye besra pa de ekoso abrekuma no from this one ma bonten amespoku insider ene ye ntwema kra efri se eni se kwese party semutina se ye yi ni da bi bra bonten na baka se efri se wo hwa ye wa nkrofo bi wo mu prepra ye papa ensamtrofo mu pra ye yan kase ye maame hawa kumsin ene ade ekoso eti sa ba na bekasem a ne ehunu se ampa wo man ne da wakoma so echen wa wo party yentie no
some of usami de see abrekuma nofo no enu kwasem ni entwa yie enye saa na nka ese yete omemu a esie na omu nyina huru se ebisi ayawaso west enti ase omu retaliate and kurani nyame anim nie saade we tokoso na esisi saa ebedu bebi ade oyuo na kase ana bebre oman no enu nti mi Ghana president President Mama say saade we a esie no on condemn kra na fe on kasantia bi se mi se wo yodo waye oman penna asudwenti ana wo ho oba Ghana ye yom enti Ghana nyentokwanti ana obaye oba Ghana ye yom opese Ghana nya asudwe enti mi senada on sorry na won kasantia na wɔtu na chitaafoɔ no nyinaa fo sɛ deɛ asie no ɔmo mma bi ɛnsi biem because ɛba sɛ MPP pɛ nso ebi asi na NDC pɛ nso ebi asi a akyire yi deɛ ɔbɛba nso anim deɛ ɛbɛba biem ɛde ɔhaw kɛseɛ ɛna ɛbɛbrɛ ɔman no ɛbɛtumi de ɔko asi ɔman no nti ɔman panin mesrɛm bebree ɔyɛ asomdwie ahene sɛdeɛ ne yɛfrɛ atamas asomdwie hene no ɔnkɔdam deɛ asie no
eti patron edema MPP amanyoko no owura Robert wɔsɛe adodo na afrɛ no atu lepepe wɔno ana ɛde sanse we atu edwa
yɛbɛkɔ ɔmantifo do apoyɛ mante mu Upper East Region na hɔ ana yakɔ akuduro Zabila MP yɛwɔ Zabila ɛyɛ Honorable Ebenezer Alumire Ndabila ɔna de ato dwa sɛ asrafo a ɛwɔ mpatam a wɔn bɔ ban no wɔn nye ba kokora ni sese nti wɔn de ɔka kyerɛ mpanimfoɔ no sɛ yɛmpam asrafo no nyinaa firi hɔnom no bia nkɔ na yɛde ɔmo kɔ a yɛntimi nyae mpatam wɔ mpan yɛnsa mfa afoforɔ mmra na afoforɔ deɛ ɔmo wɔ gyidie sɛ ɔmo de ɔmo ba sɛde wei mu aba bɛtoto apaapa so no agu ɔmo ho anim ase no foforɔ bɛba no nyɛ saa koraa.
I called on the Minister of Defense and the National Security to act as a matter of urgency and withdraw the entire military force from Boku and replace a new set. It is our belief that the current military personnel had long been tainted and corrupted and have therefore lost the moral uprightness in providing professional security protection for the people of Gusau. These incidents have left my constituents, especially communities along the Boku-Bolgatanga stretch, in a state of fear, anxiety, and panic. It is imperative to note that every life lost must be a serious concern to us as representatives of the people who elected us to represent them.
Abusia ani ayeti ye MP yawo Zabila Honorable Ebenezer Alumire Ndabila.
Afe ora Eric Afolo no enim rahebedwani edema Fi West abato empesua so wono kroyada esaye dwamtrani edema abedwafo ya pa wonom ewo emrahye bedwamu ya wonom hwe yensika sam dwadie ene mpuntunwuma ahonsam so opani de atudwa se Ghana yensika sam no nyame anim ne ahomeka bam eho aguntonsuo eho ya akono se nchenam se de yesika no agina bra ne pa ne ma ekonkan na yanka enyi sika krabia batan eye Bank of Ghana emfirimu wonom adwuma so a wonom eyo ama se watoto niam a ama enne Ghana yensidi dollar wo hefa oninwa bigina so euro so eninwa bigina so UK wono pound yinso a oboa ni nyina wono wo nyina ebo atipetipe se wono mai te se ensen no wono agrubom na ni nyina yi ene wo kase eno atimi aka ho bi ama Ghana se sika krabia bata ya bo atoto niam na se na ejina branede a na se yesi yedie kwan mu ano na yentie se de owura Eric Afol wo ka asem no efaye.
Pricing the CPI of a country is also a good measure to this effect. The central bank monetary policy and interest rates also count a lot. Mr. Speaker, above all is the strength of the cedi in relation to the hard currencies in the world, such as US dollar, the UK pound sterling, the euro in the European countries, and other currencies in the world. Right, Honorable Speaker, data and statistics available according to the Monetary Policy Committee, 124 reports of BOG, that's Bank of Ghana, and figures from the Statistical Service indicated that the economy of Ghana is thriving on a growth path, which will eventually lead to sustainable growth and development in the country. Mr. Speaker, inflation, which was taken in January 2025 at 23.4%, now stands at 18.3% as at May 2025. Which has been programmed to hit at mid-teens by the middle of the year. According to the report, on the domestic front, the bank's high-frequency real sector indicators point to a sustained pickup in economic activity. The updated composite index of economic activity increased by 2.3% on year in March 2025 compared to 1.0% over the same period last year, 2024. In addition, Mr. Speaker, the Purchasing Managers Index rose above the 50 benchmark as output and new orders increased, signaling improved growth and prospects. According to the BOG Monetary Policy Committee, 124 reports indicate that based on inflationary pressures and options about the macroeconomic conditions, the latest confidence survey showed a significant improvement in business and consumer indices, the highest in the last 7 years.
Ebra ora Erika Fulano si ye ena ye call wale mrashebedwani honomo Dr. Abdul Kabiru tia Mahama no say hey mo se sikasem ne ho eniema atoto yie ne yemo a mo waseda bi ne ye bi a mo fa seda na efama NPP aba na nado danko akufo adoda no wonom ne di ka de niema gu akwa mu na afei ena agu nhirene ya mo tidie ene ntima mo nyina honomo emfa mo nsansimu bo enkasa ye mo ena mo ye yentre ora tia Mahama.
The problem with that intervention is that it creates a false sense of the strength of the Ghanaian city. When you inject Ghanaian city, when you inject dollar into the Ghanaian city, it creates a false sense that investment within the city is doing well. In our case, it is not doing well. And the IMF has actually come to the accounting and they have mentioned that the Bank of Ghana must stop. And this house must encourage the Bank of Ghana to stop the measures of intervening and injection against the economy. The measure about GDP. Let the GDP. What are the government? The government has not paid anything except those who have so agree with it. Ghana has added contractor model, but let the GDP decline. Why? Because of the painful decision of the last government to go for the debt restructuring and to go for the IMF program. Now they are taking the credit. Today, they are taking the credit and they are telling them that the GDP is 54%. But they forgot to tell the House what has accounted for the reduction in the debt to GDP. The government has not done anything about the debt situation. According to nothing, yet the debt to GDP has moved to 54. He needed to tell
Weye aye obenfo Abdul Kabiru tia Mahama awo ye mrashebedwani adema wale abato mpesua so.
Deputy Majority Leader ewa mrashebedwamu onu kreya asan ye mrashebedwani adema adehye wo Cape Coast South eyo Owura George Kwaku Reket Hagan wo panyin ena de atu edwasa no krani se wo hwa wo man Ghana se de membru dodo na anya adwuma anya na ehu wo hu ni se akwakwa te se bio grenade pa ana ye di hu agoro sa no akra we tam no ato ama we no ya ato ama we na ano ne eyi pe wo hwa nipa dodo ebewu no anya de ketwa enti obesere pa se dise yomutimi tu hu anamom na ne kasem no wasan de ato dwa se NDC wo mo eba wo makofa bibi e friend 24-hour economy e de aba wo kire sa policy ebebo ye papa wo de sanse we to dwa e wo mra wo ne yesem twere ne wo mra sebedwamu Martin Kwabena atwen atwetwen enkomo.
And the whole idea is for us to empower the youth to be able to create the world basically that they want. And basically saying that for the youth to be able to do that, and for us to be able to empower them, is for the youth to have jobs to do. I mean, at the moment we have high level of unemployment. A lot of our people are not, young people are not working. How can they create the families they want in a fair and hopeful society? Unless, of course, they have job to do. But in Ghana, unemployment over the years has become a time bomb now. And we need to be able to create jobs for them. And I'm saying that, especially with the programs that this current government has initiated, will be some of the ways to create opportunity for our young people to get jobs to do. My party or my government, because this is the government that is creating the very things that you are talking about. You have the Jumura, you have 24-hour economy, you have this. These are all programs to give opportunities to young people to have jobs to do. And if we do that, then we wouldn't be facing the problems that we have faced in the past. And it's snowballing. The problems are snowballing. That's why it's a time bomb. It's concerned. Obviously, as I said, anything that you call a time bomb is a security concern, and we have to address that. Otherwise, as I said, it will snowball and get to a point where the bomb will have to go off. And we can't live in that. In terms of
Any awuti a deputy majority leader. Onu kra sa mra shebe dwane de ma de she wo Cape Coast South Owura George Kwaku Reket Hagan na de sansen we atu edwa.
Yebeko bono na fe tachiman na yekwen eye buankro kro ene yakwa akodru moyin omanfo ye wo ho ene school for teacher for one dem a wo bo bena den adenti a school dan a wo se nkwada no komu school no enyenyenyenyenyenyenye chese omu ni bimpo ebubu ama ye tantantan mo amohwe yen e wo Facebook ena TV so no mahunu de ye ka ho asamin na wo mo tire se ama nkwada yi eti ama nwase na ama nwono mo tie ase no eduta ma ama nwa abere na Ubon se wi fo no gina ba bi no mutu ahuba ene asaba eba ama